Hello, this is Dr. Joe Poyman, Executive Director of Texas Alliance for Life. Welcome to this week's Tall Weekly Update. Last week, the Austin City Council voted to appropriate $100,000 to fund abortion access. This $100,000 is in addition to the $150,000 allotted in last year's budget but not spent. This proposal works around the 2019 law passed by the Texas legislature and signed by Governor Abbott to prohibit contracts between municipalities and abortion providers and their affiliates. This disregard for the sanctity of innocent human life by the Austin City Council is a stark reminder that we must vote for pro-life candidates. Voting for life is especially critical in the upcoming presidential election. Now we have the Democratic ticket for the president and vice president, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. As we mentioned last week, former Vice President Joe Biden has completely flip-flopped on the life issue. For decades, he supported bans on late-term abortions and partial birth abortion. Make no mistake, Joe Biden now completely supports abortion, including taxpayer funding for abortion. NARAL and Planned Parenthood endorse him. His selection of pro-abortion extremist Senator Kamala Harris as his running mate show how far he's gone and how far he is willing to go. Last week we mentioned Harris' pro-abortion track record. A quick recap. Senator Harris voted no on the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act, a bill to ban abortion after 20 weeks. She opposed the confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, in part because she feared, quote, Justice Kavanaugh will undermine Roe v. Wade, close quote. Kamala voted against the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, a law to ensure babies who survive abortion are given the same medical attention as babies born at the same age under normal circumstances. During a May 2019 town hall meeting, Harris promised that if elected president, she would target states that pass pro-life laws to limit abortion. Senator Harris opposes the Hyde Amendment, the 40-year law that bans taxpayer dollars from paying for abortions. In watching the Democratic National Convention, it appears the speakers are, in large part, skirting the subject of abortion, perhaps because they know their views are extreme even for the extremist wing of the Democratic Party, and doing so could be costly. Yet, there have been comments dropped in about abortion throughout some of the messaging. Such was the case during Senator Kamala Harris's speech on Wednesday night when she said, Black, Latino, and Indigenous peoples are suffering and dying disproportionately from COVID-19. She attributes this to, among other things, the, quote, injustice in reproductive and maternal health care, close quote. While the logic here is hard to follow and questionable at best, what it sounds like Senator Harris is saying is that one reason Black, Latino, and Indigenous peoples are suffering and dying disproportionately is that they don't have enough access to abortion. May I remind everyone that abortion is not health care, and Black babies primarily have been targeted by the Planned Parenthood organization since its founding by the notorious eugenicist Margaret Sanger. We also got a chance to hear Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden speak on the last night of the convention. He tried to paint himself as a faith-filled family man invested in restoring this nation's soul. Let me ask you this. Was it his faith that led him to decide to have taxpayers, even pro-life taxpayers, fund abortion? How does his faith play out in his selection of a running mate who thinks being a member of a Catholic organization, the Knights of Columbus, disqualifies one from being a judge? Joe Biden ended his messaging calling for this President Trump chapter a chapter of darkness. He promised to bring in love, hope, and light. Yet there is no light in advocating for the killing of unborn babies in their mother's wombs. This is 100% darkness. We look forward to next week's Republican National Convention, We will hear from the only pro-life presidential ticket in this race for the White House in the upcoming November election. Donald Trump and Mike Pence have a 4-year track record of keeping their promises to mothers, unborn babies, and the pro-life community. Go to www.prolifevoterguide.org to view Texas Alliance for Life's endorsed pro-life candidates for your area and share this valuable tool with others. Together, we can protect the unborn. Together, our votes can speak up for life. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.